Shrine, the Conseco Fieldhouse. Here's Tom Hammond.
Thank you, Ahmad. And it's a festive scene here at the Conseco Fieldhouse today. The fans have turned out in their Christmas finery for the match. And even Santa Claus is here after the long night last night. He's here to see the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Today's game is a matchup between two teams searching for their identity. Orlando Magic acquiring Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill, but Hill's still bothered by that ankle injury he suffered in the playoffs last season, and he's played only 4 games for the Magic. That means Tracy McGrady has been carrying the team, which has now won 3 in a row. And for more on the Magic, let's go to Steve Jones.
All right, Tom Hammond, you know that the weather is the story in Orlando because they only know one thing, warm weather, and they got the Christmas package in July when they were able to sign Tracy McGrady. He has become the Magic Man. This is a guy that said, I want to be the go-to guy, and he's certainly learned how to step up and handle that responsibility. McGrady has improved in every area of the game, and he has turned out to be more than a godsend for the Orlando Magic. So for Tracy McGrady, today is the day of giving. He's going to give the Orlando Magic and all their fans.
Have struggled. These guys have never. But talking to Isaiah Thomas, first-year coach for the Pacers, he did say that more than any other team in the Eastern, Pacers have room to grow. They're going to need to find a lot of growth here if they're going to get back into the playoff picture. Let's go back to Tom Hammond. Tom?
In just a moment, we'll open up our first Christmas present as the Orlando Magic visit the Indiana Pacers. Back to Conseco for the tip in just a moment.
For you by Honda, a winning lineup of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. And by Nike Shocks, Boeing, thoroughly experienced and explained on Nike.com.
Not only a white Christmas, but a cold Christmas here in the heartland in Indiana's capital city. The snow left over from snowfall a few days ago, still on the ground, and very frigid temperatures.
A beautiful fall day here in Indianapolis.
Unfamiliar faces and names there, perhaps, for the Indiana Pacers. And for more on the situation with Grant Hill, let's go to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. And right now, while we have a moment, let's take some time to... Now we're in the process. Grant Hill has already played 4 games, but he's played with a lot of pain. This past Monday, doctors did a bone scan. Now they're before the game, guys, that one of 2 things will happen. We'll either see Grant Hill at the All-Star break, which is in 7 weeks, or that may be it for the rest of the year, Tom.
All right, Lewis. In the meantime, some of the other Orlando Magic players are getting some minutes and a chance to show their abilities. One of those would be the rookie Mike Miller, who will be coming off the bench for Doc Rivers today. Bob Delaney, Nolan Fine, George Tolliver, the officials, and our Christmas Day game is underway as the Pacers control the opening tap.
This is going to be a quick and high-energetic game, so it's a team that really gets the easiest shots and does the best job at the crucial moments that will win it.
Star power. Indiana has more of it.
And O'Neal, splitting defender, puts in the first bucket of the game.
Jermaine O'Neal finally getting a chance to play after 3 years in oblivion on the bench for Portland. Beautiful sky hook. Jabbar.
John Amici in this case. The Brit, who is the first British player to play in the NBA.
And what they want to do is get Jermaine O'Neal going early, because when his offense is good, his entire game is good. Offensive foul O'Neal.
First foul of the game, offensive foul on Jermaine O'Neal.
Jermaine telling us before the game how pleased he is working with new coach Isaiah Thomas, the confidence and the opportunity that Isaiah has given this player. Isaiah has really opened things up here for these young players in Indiana.
O'Neal, who came to the NBA straight out of high school, Eau Claire High School in South Carolina. Here's a foul.
Jeff Foster trying to take that foul, but that's a second foul in 30 seconds on O'Neal. And Isaiah, who normally doesn't get up, is up with that strange look.
So 2 quick fouls on O'Neal, who has the only bucket for the Pacers. Long, wild shot, no good by McGrady.
Beautiful
Inbound.
Beautiful save, Reggie Miller.
Miller still making his way up court. And now joins his teammates. Miss from outside by Jonathan Bender, and the Magic with a rebound.
Remember, Jonathan Bender is just only 19 years old. Huge, bright future for this young budding star.
Amici draws the double team, gets it to Armstrong for 3.
Well, you know, Armstrong is the catalyst for this team, and how well they play really depends on how much energy he can continue to put forth, and he's right at 40 minutes a game, which is, in Doc Rivers' mind, way too much.
But granted that John Amici is a terrific player, but he had a huge game against Cleveland, their last game. But why would you double team him down low and let their catalyst, Darrell Armstrong, wide open for the perimeter jumper?
Bo Outlaw with a foul, a hand check on Jalen Rose, which is a tough matchup for Outlaw. Here's an air ball off the hand of O'Neal. McGrady looks inside, gets it to Amici on the low post. Turns on Foster, and partially blocked by Foster. Amici got it back. Armstrong saves it. That was on the sideline, and they turn it over to Indiana.
What both these teams have in common, Doc Rivers and Isaiah Thomas are going to have to work on it all year long, is decision trouble defining where they're going to score, who's going to score, when the clock is going down, and in tight situations.
Decision-making, they have 3 academic All-Americans on their team. John Amici, Mike Doliak, Pat Garrity.
Going for the steal, Armstrong commits his first foul.
Second team foul on the Magic.
And the start of this game, a little cold as the weather, especially for the Pacers. Jalen Rose catching the inbound pass, and the Pacers try to set it up. They've been going to O'Neal almost exclusively. This time inside out, Miller back to Rose. And Amici in a hurry down court beats the Indiana defense back and draws a foul.
The Orlando Magic will always come with the hustle. The theme of the team last year when they earned Doc Rivers the Coach of the Year awards was heart and hustle. That time the push of the ball by the big guys. Amici, Doliak, Outlaw pounding the court.
Foul was on Jalen Rose as Amici misses the first free throw.
You know, you were late coming back to the season, so I want you to know that John Amici is a great inside scoring threat, and that's why they double team him.
It's 1 of 2 at the line. John Amici with 3 of the Magic 6 points.
John Amici, born and raised in Manchester, England. His mom's a doctor, really gave him a great appreciation for the love of learning.
He's in a doctorate program currently for child psychology. Has a psychology degree, does Amici, from Penn State. O'Neal with a spin, rejected out of bounds by the help defense of Bo Outlaw.
Now, but this would be a clear example of where Indiana struggles, and you'll see the other thing at the other end, the same thing at the other end of the floor. Clock down, and now they don't know where or how to get a shot. 5 on the clock for Rose.
Jalen can get a shot. He knows how to do that.
Just beat the shot clock, but couldn't hit. And Amici with a rebound. Here's the outlet pass to Outlaw. And Doliak spotted for the shot way short.
Every big man that's ever played for Rick Majerus, the fine coach, University of Utah, always able to play on the perimeter as well as the interior game.
Rose gets the ball to Bender. Bender goes skyward, riding Amici over the rim.
He beats 2 Magic players on the perimeter, then jumps over the top of the third.
Now, the play here should be McGrady taking the ball back at him, trying to get to the rim. He pulls up and takes a jumper instead because he's going to get some fouls on young Jonathan Bender.
First basket for McGrady, averaging 25 a game, 6th leading scorer in the NBA.
Who also leads the NBA in minutes played per game.
O'Neal drives baseline. The pull-up won't go. O'Neal kept it alive for a moment as Miller missed the shot. And then O'Neal tapped it out of bounds.
Jonathan Bender from Picayune High School in Mississippi, 45 miles north of New Orleans, down the lane. Never played last year, a significant moment this year in the starting lineup.
Reggie Miller off the inbounds play. The baseline jumper's his first bucket. Reggie averaging 21 a game in the early going in this season.
Now, as many conversations as you had with Larry Bird last year about Jonathan Bender, why didn't he play him more?
He wasn't good enough. He wasn't ready to play. This year he's standing up a lot straighter. The weight work starting to pay off. That work that Tracy McGrady has put in.
Against Bender, McGrady has 4.
Tracy McGrady, who wears number 1 in honor of one of his boyhood idols, Penny Hardaway, who was playing for the Orlando Magic, where Tracy McGrady grew up.
Miller back to Rose. Bender, double team. Doliak will be called for the foul.
The one thing that Tracy McGrady does is lull his defender to sleep. He's got a lot of different ways to score. And again, it's from the outside, but he got Jonathan Bender backing up. Now, Jonathan Bender is the same size.
Got a nice rubber band around his forehead.
And has pretty good touch on that free throw. Log on to NBA.com to vote for the NBA All-Star 2001 starters. And after the game, create your own Tracy McGrady highlight reel. That's NBA.com, your ultimate online site for all things. Back from Australia after an extended trip after the Olympics.
A special assignment I was on, Tom.
Which was what? McGrady fouled.
McGrady thought.
Doc Rivers telling us that he hopes to improve as a coach every day and thought he was a better coach now than he was in his initial season a year ago.
You know, and last year he got bruised pretty good and, you know, showed some resiliency, got the team to bounce back, and they sprinted to the end with almost a chance of making the playoffs.
Bruised? It was a honeymoon last year. He was coach of the year. They were expected to do terrible, and they did average. Nice rebound.
Bender missed the shot. O'Neal tries to follow and draws the foul. Bender missed that shot. Must have been the loose neck.
14 fouls on the Magic.
Jermaine O'Neal, one of a number of high school players who are now emerging as stars throughout the NBA.
Well, the only way you can become anything is to get out there on the floor and play, and that's what Jermaine O'Neal had to do.
But he was never going to get that in Portland, playing behind Rasheed Wallace, now Dale Davis and Sean Kemp.
And speaking of those that have come from high school to the NBA, 4 of them on display here today.
The active players, 13 of them. Moses Malone, the one guy who's been able to establish himself as the best player in basketball. Kobe Bryant, well on his way to doing that. We'll see him in a couple of hours.
Armstrong rebounds the second free throw. McGrady trying to post on Bender. Couldn't get it to him. Armstrong gets it back from Abinci.
Nice defense, Reggie Miller up against the shot clock once again, Orlando.
5 to shoot. McGrady rejected by O'Neal. And then Foster and O'Neal block it again. Shot clock violation, Indiana ball.
Jermaine O'Neal playing like Moses Malone, coming from the weak side. This all-star this year, Tracy McGrady, rejected high above the rim. 2 blocks on one play. Spectacular.
Yeah, both of them by Jermaine O'Neal. And the one thing you'll notice about O'Neal, he rarely blocks a shot with his right hand. Everything he does with any kind of authority comes on his left side.
Also, we have another Eldon Campbell on our hands, huh?
Well, the lights are on a little bit more.
O'Neal with a nice interior pass to Foster. He gets his first basket, and the Pacers have their biggest lead.
Jeff Foster, a terrific role player. Southwest Texas State, which is halfway between Austin and San Antonio.
Ball away, Amici. Pretty shot, John. Amici has 5.
Maybe they should have doubled it.
I didn't say not to double team that guy a couple of minutes ago, did I? What was I thinking?
Jalen Rose pops from outside. Rose has 4 points, and Indiana again up by 3.
The guys that have to score for the Magic, McGrady, their number 1 offensive threat, Armstrong and Amici, so they got to make sure they keep them in the play.
Christmas Day NBA action, and Indiana leading by 3. In Indianapolis, 3-point game at the moment, and Reggie Miller, of course, has been an established star for some time, but now with the youngsters on this team, he's being asked to be more of a vocal team leader. Here's what he said about that.
You got to be more of a conversational piece, especially in the locker room, and that had really never been my forte. I like to lead by example out there on court, but I was surrounded with other guys that were much more vocal. Well, those guys are gone now, and you know, I feel sometimes it's my job to interject, especially in the locker room when things get a little chaotic, and even out there on the court when things get chaotic. You know, you got to step up and say something.
Reggie Miller always wanted to take full responsibility for the good and the bad. Isaiah Thomas, first-year head coach, told us before the game about Reggie how impressed he's been with his professional approach to this job, and the fact that Reggie's always the first one there, the last one to leave, setting such an incredible example by his work ethic. The example that he puts out there has inspired some of these young guys who may not have had the background that Reggie's had.
Isaiah still searching for that combination to go with Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose, and he's had 8 different starting lineups this season.
Well, you know, Isaiah sits and he watches the game, and then he talks to them about their ability to read and react, and at both ends of the floor. The last time McGrady had the ball, the defense reacted very well. 6 on the clock for Amici.
A lot of standing around by both teams playing isolation basketball.
Amici with a fall away won't go, and the rebound to Bender.
I have never seen Jonathan Bender play this well, play this upright.
I thought you said we never saw him play last year.
That's what I said. I've never seen him play this well.
10 on the clock for Rose.
Foster back to Rose. Pick and roll. Foster, no call, lost the ball. Here's Outlaw. Deflected Miller. And stolen by Miller. Miller's 1-on-3 and lost it out of bounds.
That hesitation move. So reminiscent of Bill Bradley, Dave DeBuscher, Bob Gross, Isaiah Thomas coming at you. Think on a 1-on-3 you're going to pull it back out and then go right back at him.
You mean when he dribbled it out of bounds there?
No. The intent of tricking the defender.
McGrady makes a nice ball fake, but missed the shot. O'Neal gathers the rebound.
So far, the pace of the game has been very controlled. Both of these teams play with a kind of a frenetic pace, and I haven't seen it yet. Bender
steps back, can't deliver. Amici the rebound. Doliak beats the defense and scores the layup.
That is more Magic pace right there. Get the ball, push it as quickly as they can, and they need to get Doliak something cheap and easy to get him started offensively.
Doliak, who played in the 1998 NCAA championship game where they lost to the Kentucky Wildcats.
Reggie Miller, rebounded by Outlaw.
Beautiful outlet, 2-on-1.
What the Magic did so well was what they have just done. Force a couple of turnovers, couple of quick shots from the...
Orlando with the ball, up 1. Just over 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. McGrady. And he
that Doc Rivers believes and attack him, so they've been coming right back to McGrady.
Athletic players like O'Neal and Bender up front, who've always been physically.
Is to be able to keep Jermaine O'Neal involved offensively, because his entire game is based on his offensive output, and when he sags offensively, his defense drops off as well. McGrady again.
Shoots over Bender and scores. McGrady now with 8 points.
How can you guard this guy? He's 6'9", incredible quickness, explosiveness. You got to back off him. He's going to dunk on you. Plus, he has a perimeter game.
I thought you said defense started before they get the ball.
Miller back out to Rose.
I don't think defense has anything to do with Tracy McGrady's team.
Bender, skip pass, three-pointer by Rose, no good, and McGrady has it. That's the third rebound by Tracy.
Doc Rivers telling us about McGrady's all-around game.
Come back with the Magic leading the Pacers by 1.
Where you going? Where you going? Did you see it? Me, mostly me. It's my dope pain. Hey, hold on, man. You ain't gonna be disrespecting me like that. When I ain't looking, huh? Oh, boy, that's something else.
Lead on the Pacers, 1:59 to go first quarter. And the new Pacers coach, Isaiah Thomas, entered the spotlight in 1981 when he led the Indiana Hoosiers to the NCAA title. Then 13 seasons with the Pistons in the NBA, winning the championship in 89 and 90. He was Finals MVP in 1990, honored as one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history, and this past October 13th, inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Isaiah Thomas was so great. This guy was the shortest of the 50 greatest players, and he was the only one of the 50 greatest players to not have a teammate there with him. That's how special he was.
So you're telling us pound for pound.
This guy's phenomenal, Isaiah Thomas, at whatever he's done in life.
Now trying to earn his spurs as a coach. Outlaw has it slapped away by Bender.
This is a play designed, according to Lewis Johnson, by Doc Rivers during that timeout. Bo Outlaw delivering
High off the glass for his first basket.
It was supposed to be a post play, and he got it knocked away. So he showed us that he could dance with the ball, and he got that tough hoop to go in.
And then he went right back and delivered the post play.
There's a foul called in the lane. Sam Perkins, the veteran. The last we heard from him, he told us he was going to retire. But Big Smooth is back and in the lineup replacing Jermaine O'Neal.
And we're so glad that he is.
You know, he's like the Godfather. Every time I try to get out, they call me back and they suck me back in. So he said his wheelchair broke and he's ready to go.
Isaiah's now working on Rick Smith, trying to get him to come back.
Well, Rick Smith has become a hero here. If you look at Reggie Miller's numbers, last 5 seasons, his numbers this year are better. Minutes up, scoring up, field goal percentage up. Reggie Miller worked diligently in the offseason, as he always has. And like Karl Malone, one of the few players in NBA history who has continually gotten better as he's gotten older. What is that thing that Sam Perkins is wearing on his head?
It's a headband.
Is that a hat? Can't be a hat.
He's got a lot more hair than everyone else. So, you know,
McGrady for 3.
You know, out on the floor we have the Big Sleep. He just shot the ball, Tracy McGrady, and the Big Smooth.
Some subs in. Travis Best in at the point, replacing Rose as Bender launches a 3, and he finds the bottom of the net. And Pat Garrity, who's been playing well, is in for Orlando, replacing Doliak. Here's the steal.
Beautiful defense, Sam Perkins again.
Miller rejected out of bounds by McGrady. Indiana gets it back.
Yeah, McGrady was hawking them all the way, but McGrady has the ability to extend his offensive range, and when he does that and consistently make shots from out there, he's all kind of problems. But this is what Doc Rivers likes, the return, the help, and he really is pleased with the defensive energy of Tracy McGrady.
But on defense, your strategy has to be on the collapsing team part of it. Make them double clutch down low and then come with the weak side help to knock it out of bounds as McGrady did.
Less than a minute remaining first quarter. Troy Hudson is in replacing Armstrong for Orlando.
How many guys can bowl out like guard?
Miller tried to draw the foul, didn't get the whistle, but Foster gets the offensive board.
The intangibles that Jeff Foster brings. Third leading rebounder in college basketball his senior year at Southwest Texas State.
Bender is into this matchup with Tracy McGrady.
And he draws the foul on McGrady.
He was looking to score right back at McGrady, and McGrady not happy with the whistle from the official.
But this new look Indiana team is a lot more impressive this afternoon than they've been recently, having lost far too many games, and that growth that Isaiah Thomas was talking about prior to the game certainly on display this afternoon.
Jonathan Bender shooting for his 8th point. He has 3 rebounds and a couple of blocks as well. Coming up next on NBC, don't forget our Christmas Day NBA doubleheader continues. A rematch of that Western Conference Final Series last season as the Lakers and the Trailblazers get it together. Game 2 of our holiday doubleheader next on NBC.
Lakers hitting their stride this week as Phil Jackson challenging Shaq to live up to the MVP performance that he delivered all of last season. Kobe Bryant establishing himself as one of the all-time players, and maybe just this last week alone.
Well, Tom, this week his pick for the championship is the Lakers. It's from week to week.
Yes, I understand that.
Last week it was the Blazers, and now he's on the Lakers.
The Blazers have had a tough week. Tough week. At Dallas, loss. At Denver, blowout.
2 seconds. Perkins for 3, and air ball as the first quarter comes to a close. Well, a 1-point game at the end of the first quarter on this Christmas Day NBA game from Indianapolis. At the end of the first quarter, it's the Indiana Pacers 24 and the Orlando Magic 23.
Nothing like surrounding yourself with the best and the brightest.
It's the night of the Emmy-winning shows, The West Wing and Law & Order. And now, Ed joins this prestigious night.
I own a bowling alley. I am a lawyer. 2 separate things.
Critics are calling it the best top-to-bottom night of primetime television. And TV Guide says it's a night to treasure.
I love it when it all comes together.
Ed, The West Wing, and Law & Order, the quality shows on NBC Wednesdays.
Close game through the first quarter with 5 ties and 6 lead changes as we get ready to start the second. The Pacers up 1, 24-23. The new look Indiana team losing Dale Davis, Mark Jackson, Rick Smith, adding Jermaine O'Neal, and re-signing Miller, Rose, Crozier, and Perkins.
The 8 different starting lineups that you talked about. Jermaine O'Neal has been one of the constant performers. He's saddled with some fouls right now, but his explosive offense got Indiana untracked early. Now it's virtually a second unit out there for Isaiah Thomas. We'll see if they can sustain what O'Neal established.
Austin Crozier has entered the lineup for the first time. Austin assuming he would be a starter this season. In fact, had a fine final series against the Lakers, averaging 15 a game, and now is having to adjust to coming off the bench.
Well, he was starting early in the season, got hurt, and that's when he went to the bench, and he's never really gotten back to the early season form that he displayed. And so Harrington, Bender, Foster have been playing in trio to try to fill the void of Austin Crozier as a starter.
Crozier might be better off the bench. He's always been a bench player in his NBA career after starring at Providence under Pete Gillen there. Nice ball fake.
McGrady missed it, though.
How are you going to guard that guy?
Well, one of the reasons that Crozier is coming off the bench is that Isaiah said he wasn't getting any point production off the bench, and that's one of the reasons Austin has gone fine. Jalen Rose misses over Garrity, out of bounds to the Orlando Magic.
No, Tracy McGrady is their primary offensive weapon, and you can see how he's adjusted to it. He's in an attacking mode. That was a tough shot, but he's going to make that shot many times before this game is over.
Tracy started the game very cold, 2 for 7, but he's hit his last 3 field goals. He's got 11 points and 3 rebounds, half of Magic's field goal attempts.
Had 3 in a row till he missed that layup. Here's Mike Miller, the rookie from Florida, and he notches a 3-pointer on his first shot of the game. Mike Miller, the rookie, who was the first-round draft pick and the 5th player taken in the 2000 draft. Rose draws the double team, can't score. Miller hauls it down, gives it up to Hudson.
P.J. Carlissimo in the pregame show was trying to put a positive spin on Grant Hill's injury. The only positive deal you can get out of that is that Mike Miller will now get playing time and learn how to get it going earlier than he normally would have playing behind Grant Hill.
Perkins lost it. Hudson takes it the other way for Orlando.
Nice.
No, look, and Reed missed the layup. He was shocked, I think, they got the ball.
Well, Troy Hudson is an outstanding point guard.
And then Crozier loses it.
All you have to do is get this one up in the air.
McGrady makes sure. So McGrady now has hit 4 of his last 5 shots. He has 13 points, and the Magic lead by 4.
Well, the Indiana Pacers have come down 3 straight times and turned the ball over, and they've really been unforced turnovers. So they've got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. Back inside the rows against McGrady.
There's that heart and hustle we've seen from Orlando over the last year and a half. Nice rebounding Garrity.
Orlando has outscored Indiana on the fast break point, 7-0. McGrady lost it. Garrity with a dive saves it. Hudson missed the shot. 3 layups. The Magic have missed here in the last couple of minutes. Harrington. Looks like a foul on Miller of Orlando.
The more you watch Tracy McGrady play.
You see Miller, he looked down at his number and said, could that have been me? And he looked down to see what his number was.
When you watch McGrady play on a regular basis, here's a guy who virtually every game does something that you've never seen any player in basketball ever do.
Ever?
Ever.
I thought you reserved that for only Michael Jordan. Well,
Big smooth. Perkins can't hit. Miller has another tough rebound.
But things are changing quickly here, Steve.
McGrady for 3. Tracy McGrady with 16. And the Magic have their biggest lead. They're up 7.
now, this is where Isaiah Thomas has to steady his troops right here. They go through stretches of non-scoring and non-productivity.
Crozier got himself open but missed.
They have gone 4 minutes now without a hoop.
Bender, who was playing well offensively, picked up his 3rd foul, went to the bench, and they've kind of gone cold. Garrity had that one rim out to Perkins.
But beautiful execution of a post-up move there by Garrity.
Now here's a guy that really energizes him when he gets going. Al Harrington trying to bull his way in.
And he did bull his way in.
And gets called for the offensive foul.
Well, the Pacers in danger, if this keeps up, of losing their 4th straight at home. 8-0 run by the Magic.
Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, hey, beer man. And by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy. Chevy will be there.
Big sports weekend in Indy this weekend as the Colts made the playoffs by beating the Vikings yesterday with their quarterback Peyton Manning at the game today. He's with Lewis Johnson.
All right, Tom, thanks. Peyton, congratulations on a big win for you yesterday. Must be nice to just come and watch a major league game without having to do anything, huh?
Well, it is. We had the day off today. We got a nice early Christmas present yesterday with the win over Minnesota and got the playoff berth and have a big game against Miami on Saturday. But it's always fun to come and watch the Pacers play.
How often do you get over here to watch Pacers play?
In the offseason, quite a bit. NBA basketball is kind of new to me. I never didn't have it in New Orleans or in Tennessee, but the Pacers are one of the best teams around. In the offseason, I come to quite a few games.
All right, Peyton. Merry Christmas to you and good luck in the postseason.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Tom?
All right, Lewis, our friend Phil Simms says Peyton is the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, they get another turnover. This time will reconvert.
Where is the transition defense? Isaiah Thomas is living on that sideline.
Here's how bad it's been for Indiana. 9 possessions this quarter. They're 0 for 5 field goals, 4 turnovers, 0 points.
Where's Reggie Miller?
Well, you know, one of their problems is what they've been given. Read and react, and they don't know how to read and react very well under pressure. 6 on the clock for the big smooth.
And a 3-point opportunity as Perkins hits the fall away and draws the foul on Don Reed.
So smooth, so graceful. The elegance of Sam Perkins is delivering. He's done for so many years. How many years for Sam Perkins now?
Sam is now in his 17th season.
Maybe that smooth is because he can't go any faster.
No, Sam Perkins has unlimited gear options.
That broke a 10-0 Orlando run And here's Harrington picking up his first foul, or second foul, excuse me.
Harrington is a high-energy player, and that's where Isaiah's going to have to work with him. They thought the call should have gone the other way, but Harrington really has got some potential for them if they can just keep him out on the floor.
He looks so good physically, Harrington, as Miller yet to find the range.
They set a screen for Miller. He missed the shot, and Indiana takes it the other way.
Crozier likes to drive in these situations, but they've done a good job of closing down the baseline for him.
Pull up by Jalen Rose over Miller for two. Jalen has a half dozen points. Reggie Miller still on the bench.
Everything for Indiana coming off the dribble, going to their weak hand.
But if the Indiana Pacers are going to get control of the scoreboard, this is the unit that they'll do it against, because these guys are basically perimeter players.
Hudson for three, the long rebound to Reed.
But this unit for Orlando is out hustling Indiana as Don Reed earns a trip to the line with a hard foul by Crozier. Time and time again, though, Indiana having to go one-on-one up against the shot clock. On the other hand, Orlando, they're moving the basketball. Guys are setting screens, guys are cutting without the ball, and they're getting wide open jumpers. And over time, that tends to swing momentum in your favor.
Don Reed from Georgetown and spent 4.5 years in Detroit, a half season with Washington.
How many Georgetown centers now? 6? Ewing, Mutombo, and Mourning.
Counting Alonzo.
Reed, Jahidi White. And,
so you've gone past 6. Don't count anymore.
Is that 6 already? That's only 5. And Othello Harrington. That's right.
Travis Best missing from outside, and the rebound is stolen away by Harrington as Monty Williams made a bad pass.
Harrington tracked that one all the way, and let's see if they can make the defense of the Orlando Magic pay.
Slow to react out of the double team.
Harrington made a nice drive, but missed it at the rim. Hudson, after a little backcourt pressure, brings it into front court for the Magic.
Hudson getting a lot of time here, and that's a good sign, because Doc Rivers very concerned that Darrell Armstrong, the team's catalyst, has been playing far too many minutes.
5:59 left till halftime, and the Orlando Magic leading 35-29.
Here in Los Angeles, we're about 2 hours away for the Lakers and the Trailblazers. The Blazers out for early warm-ups on this Christmas Day. Shaq Kobe and the Lakers with 5 straight wins. Marv Albert with Doug Collins will have it for you following Orlando and Indiana. Now back to Tom, Steve, and the NBA's version of the Grinch. Bill Walton, and I say that strictly in a positive manner.
Who?
I'm stunned. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
That's never been the case.
Orlando gets it inside to Garrity. Mismatch against Best. Now Crozier, as Reed dives to the rim, Garrity hits him, and they operate the half-court offense to perfection, waiting for the double team and getting the open man.
I think the Indiana Pacers have to get off of the double team with Garrity. Make him prove that he can score in there consistently. This is the guy that likes to catch the ball and face the basket. He's playing with his back to the basket. Jalen Rose.
But Garrity can score on Travis Best at will. This is the former Big East Player of the Year.
You got to see it. You got to see it. He has got it.
But Matt Garrity has played driven. Now he's got Reggie Miller guarding him.
Again, waiting for the double team or someone to dive to the rim.
Monty Williams, terrific passing.
Reed couldn't handle it, knocked away by Indiana. Orlando will get it back with 7 to shoot as Darrell Armstrong returns. And Tracy McGrady is back in for Orlando as well.
Well, they got a nice pop from Miller. He gave him 5 points, and Troy Hudson gave Armstrong a nice little rest. Travis Best out of the ball game. Jermaine O'Neal back in.
And now with a bigger lineup in the backcourt with Reggie and Jalen Rose again, they won't have to double team and low against Garrity, and that's why they need to bring help.
That's a jump shot. That's a jump shot.
All-American from Notre Dame who loves playing here in Indiana.
A perimeter jump shot by Pat Garrity, his first 2 of the night, of the afternoon, excuse me.
Crozier low post against Garrity, turns to face him, and 1 for Austin Crozier. You're saying about Garrity's defense?
Outstanding defense. I love the refs.
You know,
I'm like Doc Rivers.
Austin Crozier does a great job of just getting himself enough room to get that shot off. Got a nice bounce. Can't complete the three-point play.
I'm going to have to pull out the rule book here and see how you, when you get knocked down.
McGrady didn't cool off when he went to the bench. Tracy McGrady with 18 first-half points.
But Doc Rivers did a terrific job of not leaving him on the bench too long. 8 for 14 for Tracy McGrady. And when he got a hot hand, he got to milk it. Leading the league in minutes.
Orlando by 8. McGrady went for the steal. Harrington couldn't hit. O'Neal had it swiped away, then goes to the floor to pick it up. Harrington with a kick ball. Orlando retains possession.
When you have this sort of outside shooting ability at 21 years of age, fading away from the basket, off the dribble, going to your offhand, an unlimited future.
McGrady has hit 6 of his last 7 shots. As Amici returns, replacing Reed for the Magic. Miller got the roll. Reggie Miller.
Well, the guys who are going to have to start picking it up offensively are Miller and Jalen Rose for the Indiana Pacers. It's nice to have the young guys get a little feel, but they are the horses, and they haven't really made their statement here in the first half.
Monty Williams pulling his way inside, and then Rose blocked it.
Indiana showing better shot blocking capability as Jalen Rose finds the range. Doc Rivers telling us that what this team really needs in Orlando is an intimidating presence defensively inside, as well as better backup production out of the point guard position to give Darrell Armstrong more of a rest.
And Orlando takes a timeout as the Pacers have climbed back to within 4. Reggie Miller gets the roll on that shot.
Well, the primetime guys are Miller and Rose, and they come back with back-to-back buckets, and that's the reason they closed in on Orlando.
Net 0 at the half. We'll have the first half insight from Kevin, PJ, and Peter.
I'll tell you what, so far it's going to be tough. The young guys at Indiana are finding out it's a little bit different without the veterans to lean on.
We will also be joined live by the Blazers' Scottie Pippen, and we'll look back at some of the great moments in the NBA from the first couple of months of the season. Back now to Tom Hammond.
All right, it looked like you guys were getting ready to choose up sides for a pickup game there at halftime.
Well, the smart one would be taking Kevin Johnson right here.
No, that's a really bold statement there.
The statement in the first half has been made by Tracy McGrady, showing us his terrific perimeter game and the range of his perimeter game and the ability to play above the rim. So McGrady, who's averaging almost 26 a game, almost has got that day's work done with 18 here.
What kind of game does PJ have?
No game. No game.
I don't know. I think he can deliver on the dribble penetration.
Amici backing in on O'Neal, and that'll be 3 on Jermaine O'Neal.
John Amici grew up a rugby player. Didn't start playing basketball until he was 17 years old. After playing a couple years overseas in Europe, played a year with Cleveland, coached by Mike Fratello. Then Doc Rivers, when he got the Orlando job, Doc Rivers kept calling him, saying, we got a spot for you, we got a place for you. Played really well for 1 year on a 1-year contract. The Lakers offered him $17 million. All the Magic could pay him was $600,000. He went back to Orlando, mind-boggling.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because he said he's a professional, and they gave him a chance to be a professional, and he is a little bit different, so rewarding a little bit of loyalty.
A very thoughtful young man, always interesting to talk to. He began his college career at Vanderbilt, then transferred to Penn State. Actually born in Boston, though he grew up, as you mentioned earlier, Bill, in Manchester, England, playing rugby.
It's good you filled in the blanks for Bill.
Kind of used to it after.
Had a lot of practice of late, Tom.
So they get an illegal defense against Bo Outlaw, and Reggie Miller will shoot the technical.
And Reggie in his accustomed spot amongst the free throw leaders in percentage in the NBA, third coming in at around 92%.
How about Steve Nash and the revitalized Dallas Mavericks up there in that free throw shooting?
Mavs, of course, one of the surprise teams in the NBA thus far. Miller spins and finger rolls it in. Reggie Miller with 9.
Well, what the Mavericks are doing is the same thing that Doc Rivers is doing. They're creating a glorious, joyful environment where people want to go and be part of the situation.
What are you saying? No, nobody else is doing that?
Well, you see a lot of happy faces on Orlando and Dallas.
McGrady and 1 as he took Harrington to the rim and has a chance for a three-point play.
You know, the Indiana Pacers had to get their big hitters into the ball game. Miller has responded since coming off the bench. A big hoop there. And then on the other side, McGrady has been the answer to whatever Isaiah and the Pacers have had.
McGrady's now hit 7 of his last 8 shots. Now with 21 points in 18 minutes here in the first half.
But the freshness that some of these new and upcoming teams have brought has been something that's eluded the Indiana Pacers, and that's what Isaiah is trying to find, that balance between the star power of Miller and Rose and the young guys who don't really have anything established yet.
Jalen Rose, tough shot. Foster put it home.
And Foster's a good offensive rebounder, and basically people forget about him, and that's why he does so well. Amici, tough shot.
Foster the rebound.
Solid defensive position by Foster. Isaiah Thomas raving about the intangibles that Jeff Foster brings.
Miller for 3. Front rim to Outlaw. That could have tied it. That pass to Garrity somehow made the catch. And 1 for Pat Garrity.
That's why you have to double team Pat Garrity.
He was facing the basket, driving the ball. This is a tough shot, but a good continuation for Garrity. A chance for a three-point play. Every time they've been able to push the ball, something good happened for the Orlando Magic.
You didn't get enough of those Notre Dame assignments during Garrity's career. This fine player from Monmouth, Colorado.
The Orlando Magic have outscored the Pacers 15-2 in fast break points.
Reggie has his whistle out. He was calling for an illegal defense as they're trying to get the ball to Harrington in the post.
Why are they attacking Bo Outlaw?
Harrington knocked Outlaw out of the way. No whistle and a technical foul called on the Indiana bench.
Now look at all of those guys over there. Look like none of them said a word. I mean, so somebody slipped something in. Tracy McGrady is the guy that gets the technical.
Taunting technical foul. He pointed right at the Indiana bench, and you're right, they all look so passive.
Well, I know for a fact that Tree Rollins would never say a word.
Well, Mr. Automatic at the line. Reggie Miller hits the tee. That is not a mirthful smile on the face of Doc Rivers.
He has to be pleased, though, with the way this team has come out. I think he's telling Bo Outlaw that he's coming right at you again. Well, we don't really respect your defensive capabilities.
I've been a lot of times I wanted to call a tee on you for taunting. Traveling call, Jalen Rose.
Well, after they got a call, and Isaiah had some fun about it, is upset with the call to going the other way. And, you know, Isaiah doesn't say a lot during the course of the game to the officials or to his team. Garrett
for 3. Back rim, Foster has it.
A little quick on the shot clock maybe for Garrity. You get that shot whenever you want to.
Jalen Rose, beautiful drive. A dozen points for Jalen.
Jalen Rose broke his wrist in the opening 10 minutes of the first exhibition season. Missed the rest of that month and then the first 10 games of the season. Just rounding into it right now. Steal.
Harrington gets it to Reggie Miller. Fakes the 3. Steps back behind the line but misses. Harrington offensive rebound. Good. 1-point game and a backcourt foul on Harrington. Fouls McGrady. McGrady looks at him like, what are you doing?
Well, that's just a dumb foul because that just plays the shot clock now perfectly for Orlando. They didn't even have to go 2 for 1. Jalen Rose using that right hand.
Well, that's a problem for Al Harrington. You know, his energy and his excitement, he'll make a great play, and then trying to make another one will make a mistake.
And that was his fourth foul.
Fourth foul in the first half.
And he's going to leave the game. Travis Best will come in.
Al Harrington had off-season back surgery. They thought it was going to be a very serious one going in, maybe some degenerative disc problem, but it turned out to be just a cyst, and he was very thankful for that.
Well, McGrady has been productive in points per minute. Harrington productive in fouls per minute. 4 fouls in 11 minutes. McGrady now with 23 points, and Orlando leads by 3.
But with McGrady and Orlando playing at the top of their game, the Pacers only behind by 3. Home court will have a lot to do with this down the stretch.
Somehow, Jalen Rose scooped that one in, and then Best collides with Armstrong. And the foul,
they're going to call it on Armstrong.
On Darrell Armstrong of Orlando.
Jalen Rose threw 3, 4 defenders. Ball caught the bottom of the rim and curled up over the lip.
They got a 20-second timeout, but what kind of English is that he put on that ball, Bill?
I think that's John Amici English.
The Knicks Boys and Girls Club, the Odysseus SDA Youth Society, the Indiana Family and Social Services.
This is a tough call here against Darrell Armstrong, whose team had the ball and the pass was being thrown to him. Yet the call goes for Indiana.
And don't forget, coming up shortly, Net Zero at the half. Ahmad and company will preview the second half of our doubleheader, the Blazers and the Lakers, and take a look at this young season's memorable moments to date. That's all at Net Zero at the half, coming up with 36.4 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Well, Tom, Bill Walton has already said that on Christmas Day the home team already wins, so he's feeling a lot better about his early prediction that the Pacers somehow would come out on top as they close with within one, and they have a chance to maybe get the lead with this possession.
When was the last time the road team did win on Christmas Day?
Jalen Rose, he's had the hot hand, and he has 16.
At 12 in the quarter for Jalen Rose.
I'm not sure what happened here. Do you know, Billy? Do you know what happened?
Well, they are fixing the clock. Bob Delaney right on top of the situation.
They wanted it at 27.
There we go. So 27 seconds remaining till halftime. Orlando with the ball now down by 1.
Nice pick by Bo Al on a 20-second timeout.
Magic call at 20, trying to get a good shot to close the half. They led most of the second quarter, but now find themselves trailing by 1.
Star power dominates in the NBA, and it's Jalen Rose teaming with Reggie Miller, who have kept Indiana alive enough so that that jumper gives them the 1-point lead. The last 3 seasons for Jalen, minutes improving dramatically and a point production along with that. Jalen Rose, who started his career in Denver, up and down period of time there, and then when he first joined the Pacers with Larry Brown, couldn't get much playing time then, but since Larry Bird took over, it's been a meteoric rise to the top, in a certain appearance in this year's NBA All-Star game to be played at MCI Center in Washington.
.2 seconds left in the second quarter.
So what are the chances they run this last play through Tracy McGrady? They've got...
I'd go to Pat Garrity and let him be a shooter or a passer.
Garrity sets a screen for Armstrong. Now they give it to Garrity against Travis Best. That's a mismatch, and Garrity lost it. 5 seconds left. Miller pulls up. Three-pointer. Good!
Oh! That ball was goaltended by Reggie Miller.
Well, Indiana closes the second quarter, closes the first half of play on a 12-2 run.
Reggie Miller, so sharp, knowing that clock, just racing right for the three-point line.
So despite 23 points from Tracy McGrady, Orlando trailing at halftime. Tracy is with Lewis.
Tom, thanks a lot. Tracy, big points for you, big first half, but talk about how you balanced out showing your offensive skills and also keeping the rest of the club involved with the offense.
It's just a matter of just taking what the defense gives me. If I see I got a one-on-one mismatch, then I'm getting the ball. If I see that one of our teammates got a mismatch, then we got to feed them. You know, we can't go away from that.
Indiana struggling a little bit early on, but here we see at the end of the second half, they still can show that spark of offense.
Well, just a lack of defensive breakdowns. You know, we just got to come out second half and bring that same intensity that we did in the first quarter.
Okay, Tracy, we'll see you in the second half. Tom?
All right, Lewis. Tracy with 23 points in that first half, hitting 7 of his last 8 shots. Jalen Rose, 16. He hit 6 of his last 7. 54-50 Indiana. Now let's go to Ahmad Rashad with net 0 at the half.
All right, thanks, Tom. Back in New York with KJ, PJ, and Peter Vesey. KJ, your observation of the first half.
I'll tell you what, Tracy McGrady, exciting. It's his coming out party on Christmas Day. The whole world's getting a chance to see this guy play. 9 for 15 from the floor, 23 points. Boy, boy, boy. Grant Hill's going to get healthy a little bit sooner now.
They hope so. Indiana turned it over early. They finally figured out late, let's get Reggie and Jalen back involved. They're in good shape. But this is the Eastern Conference. There's not a lot of presence down under.
You know, the Pacers can't get into a one-on-one duel with McGrady and Jalen Rose. They did that the other day against Toronto and Vince Carter, and they lost. The Pacers have to remember they have Reggie Miller there. Go to him often.
We would like to see that. Now, after this, we'll head to Los Angeles where the Lakers and Blazers are getting ready for a rematch of last season's Western Conference Finals, and we'll talk live with Portland's 7-time All-Star Scottie Pippen waiting on us.
Keep going, keep going.
We almost had it. Sorry, guys. Can we get another one, please?
Okay, let's do this again. Okay. One more time.
Yeah.
This holiday season, Miller Lite wishes you safe and happy Miller times.
20 years now. Where'd they go?
Need help with those?
I can do it.
20 years. I don't know.
I mean, you just caught an edge. It happens.
I sit and I wonder sometimes.
Year after year, it's good to have someone you can depend on. Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, David Duval, Nick Price, Lee Jensen, Gary Nicholas, Jean Van de Velde, and defending champion Billy Andrade. Have some fun in a test to see who's best. The EMC Golf Skills Challenge, next weekend on NBC.
Welcome to Net Zero at the half. Net Zero, defenders of the free world. Not just free internet access, the best internet access. Call 1-800-DEFENDER.
Later today, the Portland Trail Blazers pay a visit to the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers. For Portland, it's a trip that'll bring back some bad memories. It's their first visit to the Staples Center since last year's Western Conference Finals.
A great rivalry, and it's going to become an even greater rivalry as this series moves along to what people feel could go the full 7. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
All of a sudden, the Blazers can't buy a hoop.
The Western Conference Championship on the line.
The jump hook. The Lakers have taken the lead. The Lakers are going to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1991.
This season, LA and Portland have split their first 2 games, both in Portland. And as they get set for today's game, we're joined from Los Angeles by my main man, Blazers Scottie Pippen. Scottie, you lost to the Lakers opening night, then you came back to beat them 2 weeks ago. What do you look for heading into today's game?
Well, I think today we want to see a little bit more consistency on our part. The first game that we faced this team, we weren't quite healthy. Salas was out of lineup, and I ended up getting hurt early in that game. The last game that we played them, I felt like we had a better game plan, but since that time, we haven't played as well as we need to play as a team. So today's game is going to be a good measure of where we are as a team. If we're starting to get over the hump or if we're just sort of spinning in mud. So this is a good game. We're measuring ourselves against the world champions, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Scotty, this is KJ. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you too, Kevin.
Thank you very much. Tell me, what did the Portland Trail Blazers learn from last year's defeat against the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, I think we realized we had to play a 48-minute game. I think last season we came in here and we were a little happy with what we had did after 3 quarters, and we didn't complete that game. And that's something that's going to haunt us for the rest of our lives, and not just this season, but we have to forget about it and look forward to the challenge of this season, and that's to make sure that we get over the hump.
Pip, it's PJ. I know it's early, but it seemed to me last year, you guys, your defense was so strong even early in the season. You put a stranglehold on people. I don't see that same D so far.
Well, I don't think we've seen that neither, PJ, and Merry Christmas to you too, but that's something that we've made emphasis on over the last few days of our team meetings and our practices, that we have to focus on being a better defensive team, and that's the way we're going to get ourselves out of these struggles that we're going through now and become the best team in this game.
Scotty, this is Peter Vesey. This is your lowest scoring average since your rookie year. What is the value that you're bringing to the Blazers this year?
Well, I think the leadership, the other things that I'm able to do on the basketball court is more important to this basketball team than me just scoring. Obviously, I'm not getting the shots that I've had in my career that I've gotten being in Chicago, and obviously being in Houston, I had more opportunities to score. But this team isn't built around Scottie Pippen being a scorer. It's being about my leadership and the qualities that I can bring to the game and to this team for us to win.
All right, Scotty, thank you very much for joining us today, and good luck to you today.
All right, thank you guys, and Merry Christmas to you and to my family and all our families who can't really be home with our families today. Thanks.
All right. Now, the Portland Trail Blazers, they made a lot of moves over the offseason. Are they a better team this year than they were last year?
I think that the one thing that Scottie Pippen didn't mention here in the interview, but he felt that the role players coming off the bench last year did a good job or a better job of accepting those complementary roles as compared to this team this year. So I don't think they're a better team right now than they were last year.
Mike Dunleavy's got a very difficult job juggling minutes with this group, and Shawn Kemp has been a distraction because they got to play Shawn Kemp with his contract, and that trade was such a big trade. I think it's been very unsettling for this team.
I agree with that. I'm not going to blame all their problems on Shawn Kemp, but I know the team has felt that he's received preferential treatment because they do have to play him. They owe him something like $70 million over the next 4 or 5 years. He came in out of shape. He had a bad attitude. He's been late consistently, and he's always in foul trouble. So what is Dunleavy to do? Hope that he dozes and diets and doesn't show up for practice, I guess.
You got to get something out of him, but it's not going to be easy.
I think we find out exactly what kind of team Portland is today against the Lakers. Coming up, we'll relive some of the moments to remember from the first 2 months of the season. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Brandon over Weber. Got a clean look and Iverson behind. Gasell puts up a long breeze. Tenths of a second on the clock. Sam Gasell hits a big-time downtowner.
Hey, everybody. This looks like fun. How much is this airline paying you people to sit here? What? You're paying them? You mean like those people who pay for internet access? Why do that when you can just log on to NetZero? It's fast, reliable, and it's totally free. You never pay a monthly fee. Ever, ever, ever. NetZero. Not just free internet access. The best internet access.
We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's a reason everybody should be shaking in the house tonight.
The boys are there!
Don't look surprised, cause you know what I like. And tonight we ought to do it. Cause the boys are back in town.
Say hi. It is halftime in Indiana with the Pacers leading the Magic 54-50. Welcome back to the Net Zero at the half. We are now about 1/3 of the way through the NBA season. It's a season that's featured all kinds of great moments so far, and just in case you've missed some of them, that's why we're here, to refresh your memory.
Way to pick it up. Bring it on up. Two up. Yeah.
What a sensational shot. Wow.
Iverson behind. Oh, my. Bucket. Got it. Oh. The Sixers on a rampage right now.
Up by 21.
You've got to be kidding me.
Sprewell gets it back.
He shoots the seat of his pants and scores. Seated at the free throw line. Finley breaks into the open. He's got Finley against Elliott. The fadeaway by Finley. Dallas wins.
Let's go.
I'm the GOAT, the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time. The greatest of all time.
Dave McMillan loves coaching the Sonics. Seattle has responded.
Dr. Holding, still holding, looking for Carl. Now he's got him low. Here it is. Carl on a hit. Scoop. Here it is. The second leading scorer with a hit through the game.
Pat Riley wins his 1,000th career game as an NBA head coach.
Hey, way to go. Well, this time the
foul, and I don't believe what I just saw. McGrady takes it to the basket and jams it. He is one fired up 21-year-old.
Yes, he is. Bryant's got 49. Jameson's got 49. Let's do it again. Jameson got it! Back-to-back 51-point game. Kobe Bryant has 51. This is the best NBA game of the year. Mobley with 2, with 1. Norris, a 40-foot heaving got it and won the game. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to a basketball game the rest of your life and you won't see this play duplicated.
So there you have it, some of the highlights from the past 2 months, and let's talk about the season at this point. What has caught your attention, PJ?
Well, youth is being served. We see a lot of people and some new teams emerging, but the power is still in the West. 89-51, the Western Conference has dominated the East, and it's going to be that way all year.
I'll tell you what team has really excited me is those darn Sacramento Kings.
I'll tell you what,
they're playing defense finally. They're one of the top scoring teams. They got the leading candidate for MVP and C. Webb. Little Sacramento City is alive right now.
Where are you from?
Sacramento.
I think the biggest surprise is who would have thought that the Kings, Jazz, Hornets, and 76ers would be leading their respective divisions, right? And also that the Bulls would have won as many as 3 games by now.
Charlotte's legit.
So wait, how about the young kid out there in Golden State, Mark Jackson, rookie, averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds. His dad was a member of the Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. So if you don't know him by now,
he drafted him.
He drafted him. You don't know music either. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Right. If you don't know him now, you will never. It's a long one. The Pacers and the Magic getting set for the start of the second half. In just a moment, we'll send you back out to Indiana's Conseco Fieldhouse. Thanks for joining us on the Net Zero at the half.
This has been Net Zero at the half. Net Zero, defenders of the free world. Not just free internet access, the best internet access. Visit www.netzero.net.
And now a sneak peek at the new NBC comedy, Three Sisters.
You know he has a total crush on me. Really? And you think it's because at Labor Day he kept trying to throw me in the pool.
Oh, let me guess. Did it go a little something like this? Oh, no, don't throw me in the pool. My T-shirt will shrink.
That was Mom.
Three Sisters, NBC Tuesdays after Frasier in 2 weeks.
What I waited.
When you've got a big job on your hands, you need something that's as tough as you are. Like the 2001 Chevy Silverado, the truck. Now, make your money count on the 2001 Chevy Silverado half-ton extended cab with as low as 1.9% APR, giving you $26.07 in average finance savings. That's 1.9% APR. So make your money count at your local Chevy dealer today.
Have a safe and happy holiday season from NBC 41 News.
Halftime at Conseco Fieldhouse with the Indiana Pacers rallying toward the end of the half to lead Orlando 54-50. And fueling that rally by Indiana was Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller. Their two big guns got going.
Tom, the theme for the Indiana Pacers this year is development and growth of the new young players. But when it comes down to winning the games, it's always going to come back to Jalen Rose and Reggie Miller. They have the star power. You combine their points, they have 29. The backcourt for Orlando, Tracy McGrady and Darrell Armstrong, they only have 26, and that's the difference in the game.
Well, that's the difference in the game, but you also have to remember that in the first half, there were some things that worked very well for the Orlando Magic, and it was a fast break. They've got to get back to that fast break basketball and make sure that their bench can continue to make a positive contribution.
And the leading scorers in that first half. Of course, Tracy McGrady had the big half for Orlando. And for Indiana, it was Jalen Rose with 16 and Reggie Miller 13. 9 of them in the last 4 minutes of the half. McGrady leading all scorers with 23. 4-point game, third quarter, when we return to Indianapolis.
When cold winds begin to blow and storm clouds start to grow, don't let
With its legendary four-wheel drive capability,
drive you to despair, just make an angel.
Jeep Grand Cherokee can go where no ordinary 4x4 can. This is the season to visit your local Jeep dealer.
I think the creativity comes from within. I think everybody's born with creativity, but I believe it's the trust in yourself and the trust in your emotions to talk to yourself, so to speak, to become your own psychologist, to let your emotions out on a piece of paper, to not be afraid of anything, not be afraid of what people think, not be afraid of what people may say, to just be yourself. And I think that's something that's rare nowadays.
And now, a sneak peek at the new Tuesday comedy, Three Sisters.
Go ahead, just say it. I was right. Come on, it's 3 little words. Stephen was right. I can get you a pen and paper if you prefer to write it down.
Fine. Congratulations on being right. One time in our entire marriage. Enjoy your sad, pathetic little victory.
Feels pretty good. Three Sisters, coming to NBC Tuesdays after Frasier in 2 weeks.
There's a new brand of football coming. A league where players must train harder and push themselves to the extreme. Passing drill. Blocking drill. Obstacle course. Oh, and did we mention? No, they're catches. The XFL's coming. NBC, February.
Hey, to the Miller clan in Riverside, California. I know you guys are sitting back eating all that turkey and having a great time. Wishing you happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone.
And we would echo the sentiments of Reggie Miller. Happy holidays to everyone. As the Indiana Pacers trying to break a 3-game losing streak, have a 4-point lead, ready to start the third quarter.
The secret for the Orlando Magic is to be able to keep their energy up, force some turnovers, and win this ball game in a sprint. If they have to set up, they're going to have to drive the ball through Tracy McGrady, and I'm sure Isaiah has made some adjustments for Doc Rivers.
Well, how are Jonathan Bender and Jermaine O'Neal going to be able to deal with the fact that they're in a little bit of foul trouble? They each have 3.
Amici forced it up. Miller lost the rebound. His teammate Jermaine O'Neal was there, and they just fumbled it out of bounds. So Orlando gets another chance.
But you talk about teammates, and you're never going to fault guys for the effort that Reggie Miller put out right there to try to get that ball. Reggie, though, inspirational to Jermaine O'Neal, and talked him into playing a game this year. He wasn't going to play because he had a serious eye condition, and Reggie said, hey, look, can you give us a little bit? And Jermaine was able to come up with a very solid contribution.
Reggie seems to have at least numbed his hand and is holding it right now in his left hand. So As long as that shooting hand is working, I think he'll stay out there. Nice pass.
McGrady, no look. Outlaw the finish.
We have learned over the years that that's usually when Reggie comes alive when he gets banged up.
Here he is. Yes, I think he's okay. That's all it took. He ended the half on a hot note and takes up here with the first bucket of the second half. McGrady for three. Outlaw had it for a moment. Now Rose for Indiana. Jalen Rose lobbing. Bender can't handle it, and Amici grabs it for the Magic.
Beautiful decision to pull back that quick outlet to McGrady.
They've done a good job of keeping Armstrong, the catalyst, under control. So he hasn't been in the open court, hasn't been able to shoot a lot of threes, and that one's short.
Way short for Armstrong. Rose. Foster finally gets the handle.
How about something for Orlando going to the hoop instead of settling for these three-pointers?
Double team of Rose. He gets it to O'Neal. Tough shot. Foster can't follow it, and Amici battling, and Foster takes it away. Reggie Miller has been hot. Let's see if he puts it up again. 11 points in the last 2 minutes plus.
Nice pass.
And Foster got the roll.
Now, here's a question we should pose for Bill. Tom, Jeff Foster did not play at all last year either. Did he get a longer neck, and is he staying straighter?
No, Jeff Foster has worked diligently to try to develop an NBA physique. But when you have penetration of the guards, the defenders have to collapse, particularly on a Reggie Miller. That's going to allow players like Jeff Foster to step in. A limited offensive game at this point, just in his second year. A lot of promise for Foster, though.
6 points, 7 rebounds for Jeff Foster. Amici lost that last one out of bounds after calling for the foul, didn't get it. And Jalen Rose pops it in. He has 18 points.
Well, Doc Rivers is up, and he wants a 20-second timeout, and what he's going to talk about is their defensive attitude. They're allowing the ball to move too freely, and that's getting Miller and Rose too many good opportunities.
The problem is their offense for Orlando. They come out just jacking up threes. Jalen Rose able to deliver time and time again and go into that right hand. What was it that Lenny Wilkins said? That the league has fallen in love with the three-point line.
Well, the league has fallen in love with the three-point line, but it's the coach's responsibility to get them off of it. As you take a look at both of these coaches and which one is more animated at this time is Doc Rivers, and he's telling his guys, you can't gamble outside and turn someone loose. They're taking a look at Reggie's wrist, but he's going to stay in shape.
It can't be that serious. They got the assistant trainer working on it. When Dave Craig, one of the deans of NBA trainers, when he gets involved, then it's a whole other story.
Indiana's on an 18-4 run going back to the close of the first half, and they had their biggest lead. They're up 8.
And what is killing Orlando? Turnovers. They had 3 of them in the last 58 seconds of the second quarter that led to that 12-2 closing run by Indiana, plus inappropriate shot selection.
Amici against Foster.
Nice fake.
Missed the shot. Got his own rebound and is fouled. Amici couldn't finish after making a nice move, but stayed with it, pulled down the offensive rebound, and will step to the free throw line.
But here's a classic example of an Orlando Magic player. They have 3 starters who weren't even drafted on the team. A team generally of unloved players that have found homes in Orlando.
Coming to NBC beginning next Saturday at 4 Eastern, the EMC Skills Challenge. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and others have some fun. Test their abilities matching each other shot for shot in 8 golf disciplines. The EMC Skills Challenge next Saturday, 4 Eastern, here on NBC.
Now, the hope for the Magic here is to keep this ball game close through 3 quarters and see if the Indiana Pacers have learned how to finish in a tight situation.
Rose.
Unless Orlando finds some way to slow down Jalen Rose. The game that Jalen had a head-to-head matchup against Vince Carter about a week ago here, where they both were over 40 points.
Well, you know, they put their best defender individually, and that is a little outlaw on him, but Jalen Rose has turned them inside out.
Blocked by Bender.
Too slow of a delivery.
He took way too long to get that one up.
Miller off the curl. Armstrong recovered. Now O'Neal. Skip pass to Bender. Right to Doliak. Can't finish it. Here's Armstrong the other way for the Magic. 3-on-2. They've been best when they've had the break going. McGrady misses the pull-up. Miller lost another one out of bounds.
Frustrated with himself, Reggie pounds that ball. The fierce competitive spirit, the drive, the beautiful passing by Orlando, denied by superior athleticism and quickness and explosiveness.
The pass deflected. Garrity picks it up in backcourt. O'Neal hit it. Orlando opens this quarter to 1 of 8.
This is always a questionable decision, but they're going to Bo Outlaw one-on-one. He has a tough time finishing. They get a 3-second violation on him.
Well, you go inside like that, and you've got your man beat. You've got to get the shot up on the glass because everybody else, particularly John Amici, that particular possession, establishing himself for offensive rebound.
But he's a player, Bo Outlaw, that lives off of other people's games. You don't go to him as a primary weapon.
He can create, but better off from out in front, maybe at the high post than from the low post position.
Miller for 3. And McGrady takes the rebound. Tracy McGrady has 4 rebounds now. Oh, what a beautiful move. Young McGrady took it the length of the court and finger rolled it through number 25.
Finally, a successful foray to the basket.
6-point Indiana lead.
That's Jeff Foster asking for the ball, and they don't see him in a mismatch. Miller.
Reggie Miller. Miller now with 17.
Confusion on the offensive end for Indiana, but bailed out by the brilliance of Reggie Miller and Jalen Rose.
McGrady. Rose staves it off Outlaw.
Oh, but Tracy McGrady just gliding to the hoop here. He is right-handed. Jonathan Bender should realize that and force him away from that strong hand.
O'Neal draws the double team. Bender for 3.
But why would you double team O'Neal that far out on the floor? I mean, he hasn't done anything from out there to deserve a double team, and they have to pay for it.
That's why Doc Rivers is calling timeout.
Bender's hit both his 3s. Pacers big.
You know what people are most afraid of? A legend. What they don't understand. Who turned his back on the world.
If I ask you not to say anything to anybody.
An athlete with a hidden gift.
And if I asked you to keep helping me with my writing?
Together, they will challenge each other.
Perhaps you'll amaze even me.
And change the system. From the director of Good Will Hunting, Sean Connery.
You're the man now, dog.
Finding Forrester. Rated PG-13. Now playing in select cities. Starts January 12th everywhere.
It has the DNA of giants in its sheet metal. Cars that raced on fields of honor. It has motor oil for blood and a 250 horsepower heart. Because 40 years ago, like today, there were just 2 kinds of cars on the road. Those that pass and those that get passed. Chrysler 300M, the most powerful car in its class. Now lease the 300M at Consumers Digest Best Buy for $3.99 a month.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Enjoy the holidays. By Chrysler, we're reinventing the passion for driving. And by Adidas.
The NBA All-Star Game set for February. And the voting already underway. And let's take a look at the current All-Star voting.
Kevin Garnett and Rasheed Wallace. That power forward position in the Western Conference is just loaded with Chris Webber and Karl Malone not on the starters. They'll definitely be on the team, though. In the East, Grant Hill and Alonzo Mourning not been factors at all this year. Alonzo out for the season with the severe kidney ailment, yet they still lead in the Eastern Conference voting.
Now, Doc Rivers has got to know that the Indiana Pacers are capable of letting his team back in the game. So he's got to get them to believe that they got a chance. And a quick shot again from the perimeter by Darrell Armstrong.
The offense has disappeared for Orlando. They've scored 6 points here in the first 6 minutes of the third. They're playing on the road.
They've been outscored 25-8 going back to the first half. And of that 25, 19 have been scored by Miller and Rose. And now Jermaine O'Neal gets into the act with a three-point opportunity.
And they were supposed to be double-teaming O'Neal and let him get too deep. He's going to spin away from the double team to get this chance to go to the free throw line in a three-point play as Amici, who can't block shots, just puts his arms up and gets the contact from O'Neal.
Well, Jermaine O'Neal just showing the promise as to why he was drafted so high coming out of high school.
Foster kept it alive. Miller for three, no good. O'Neal, another offensive rebound for Indiana. McGrady deflected it. There's the lob. O'Neal couldn't control it. Lob pass was not a good one.
Well, you know he's going to use that left hand every time if he's on that side of the court and still using the left hand to try to jump.
McGrady fouled as he takes it to the rim.
So let's see if McGrady has come to the point of understanding that it's his responsibility now to keep his team in contact and make the plays as you take a look at O'Neal trying to snatch and throw with the left hand.
Jeff Foster just committing his third foul.
Foul trouble mounting for the front line and Isaiah Thomas.
Tracy McGrady's just scored 2 in the quarter. And now has 26 in the game. And coming up on TBS on Tuesday, starting at 8 Eastern, Raptors and T-Wolves and Suns and Grizzlies. That's Tuesday on TBS.
Vince Carter versus Kevin Garnett. What a matchup that will be. We'll have Kevin Garnett next Saturday night. He, like Tracy McGrady, like Lamar Odom, just showing things that taking the game of basketball to new heights on a regular basis.
Now the best defensive stand by the Orlando Magic. They turn it over, then Garrett, he can't control it.
Bender, and one.
You keep talking about defense. It's their offense. They're turning the ball over. They can't shoot.
Well, you know what? Neither one are very good.
This guy here is showing a lot of signs of promise. Jonathan Bender, three-point shooting range, much better muscular, skeletal development, moving without the ball, playing above the rim.
Skeletal development.
Where does that come from, that skeletal thing?
Look how much more erect he is this year.
You know, they said that he had the game that was reminiscent of the great George Gervin, and we'll find out it's a career high for him today. He had 9 all in the first period, got 6 now. So he's making a little Christmas Day statement of his own.
Here's a guy who's had some serious DNP coach's decision already this year.
Armstrong for 3.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Couldn't hold on to it, though, as he went way up.
He's hurt. Jermaine's hurt.
And then the jam from Reed.
Jermaine is hurt, and that is not a good sign for an already thin front line for Isaiah Thomas.
Now he's rubbing his leg, but I think he's okay.
Easy for you to say, sitting over here comfortably with someone bringing you sandwiches.
He had a sandwich?
He had a 4-course meal during the last time out.
You see him come down, and it looks like he might have come down on his ankle a little bit, and he's had problems with his ankle right there, stepping on the foot of Jeff Foster. He tweaked it a little bit. Well, you know, you look at Jermaine O'Neal, this is his 5th season, and his problem has been playing time, and he's been limited when he was in Portland. He finally got a chance to play here in Indiana, and he's beginning to do some of the things that he felt he could do when he opted to come into the pros out of high school.
But that was a good trade for both teams, because Portland, they have to win right now. Portland down the road, they're going to be able to buy a whole new team. Here's Donnie Walsh, the president of the Indiana Pacers.
Made the deal for O'Neal, who...
Well, this will be very difficult, and we'll be watching it all season long as Indiana's trying to stay in the hunt. At the same time, they still have star players.
Bender took it right to the rim and drew the foul.
Well, whoever spot he took, he doesn't want to give it back.
That's right.
I guarantee you that today. He is saying, Coach, you made a mistake by giving me all those DNPs, and dealing against some pressure defense against Tracy McGrady. Works his way to the rim, back at the line, where he's yet to miss.
Player Jonathan Bender, who broke Michael Jordan's McDonald's All-American High School All-Star Game record, but beat it by 1 when he scored 31 points coming out of high school.
6 for 6 at the line is Bender. Kick off the new year with NBC as we bring you the 56th annual Toyota Gator Bowl. And quarterback Michael Vick leading Virginia Tech against the Clemson Tigers. That's the Toyota Gator Bowl, New Year's Day, 12:30 Eastern on NBC.
So the leading scorer in the quarter is young Jonathan Bender with 8 for a total of 17 in the game.
8 points in the last 2.5 minutes, as a matter of fact.
Great pass into McGrady, and one of the few mistakes he's made. Armstrong keeps trying.
Finally hits a 3. Darrell Armstrong only has 6 points. Makes it 74-63 Indiana.
Now, what the Magic want to do is make the Pacers more perimeter. So they've got to continue to have good pressure on the ball. Don't let the Pacers move the ball and move people as freely and easily as they have.
But Indiana is sizzling right now. Orlando can't keep the pace. Jermaine O'Neal passing like Arvydas Sabonis.
Rose with a 3-pointer gives him 23 in the game. McGrady. And the Indiana foul, blocking foul on O'Neal, I believe.
Well, they're claiming that the defense was outside the line, and that should be an offensive foul.
Bo Outlaw is trying to get a technical, and he's pointing to the official. Look at the guys out on the floor as McGrady comes hard to the rim.
It's called on Bender, actually, and it's his 4th foul. Bender's had the big quarter.
Jean Tabak up off the bench.
Grady sinks the first free throw. Tracy now with 28 points, and Tabak does indeed replace Jonathan Bender.
John Tabak, who has some championship experience and a ring as well from the Houston Rocket days of the mid-90s, playing behind Akeem Olajuwon.
He's played for Houston, Toronto, now Indiana, and also in Turkey, in Italy, and in Yugoslavia. He is Croatian and a member of the Croatian team that competed at the Atlanta Olympics.
Miller in the ball game, and he'll have to deal with Jalen Rose as they double up. Get a call against Mike Miller.
Now this is a serious injury because David Craig is in here.
Well, he's working on his calf.
Lewis Johnson has a report on O'Neal's status. Lewis?
Yeah, Tom, right now you can see head trainer David Craig working actually on the right shin. That's what's bothering him. He landed awkwardly on that shin a few moments ago. Craig said he was all right. We're back in the game, but obviously he's still got some problems. Tom.
All right, Lewis. Tracy McGrady has no problems. He has 31 points. McGrady had a career-high 40 against New Jersey earlier this season.
The effortless nature with which Tracy McGrady can score. Got to learn, though, that the other guys have to come with him, and right now no one else playing any kind of basketball for Orlando.
Well, he's got to keep him in the ball game and give him a chance to wake up and come with him, and they haven't been doing any of the things that they need to do, and Jonathan Bender is making them pay 10 1/4 for Bender.
How could they keep this guy on the bench, Jonathan Bender?
Well, he didn't have the skeletal development.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that about Bender because he did grow 7 inches in 1 year in high school, 9th to 10th grade. There's Foster a block, and Reed fouled by Bender.
Isaiah Thomas talking prior to the game about the need for this team to have a growth spurt. They have come of age this afternoon on Christmas as they are hammering Orlando.
Actually called that last foul on Foster. Now he has 4.
Guardalo, guardalo. Torna dalla mamma. Non è la tua fidanzata, anche la mia, stai giù con le gambe, difendi. Ok, vieni qua, prima lezione. Giù con le gambe e gli stai all'addosso.
Lascialo stare, lascialo stare.
Basta, è impossibile bloccarlo.
Non ti preoccupare, adesso cambiamo le squadre.
Va bene, dai. Ok, adesso la palla è mia.
Dove vai? Fammi la palla. Questa è la mia casa.
Hey guys, give me a hand carrying this stuff up to the 3rd floor? Love to, but we're late for this thing. Yeah, sorry. That's cool. You know, those stairs are kind of tricky. Yeah. Oh, I got this. That's it. Mind if we help ourselves to some of your underwear?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I don't need you guys to help me unpack.
Make it a Bud Light.
It is a thrill, a minute. But time is almost up on Toyotathon 01. Hurry to Toyota's blockbuster sales event of the year before the great values on Toyota's best are no more. You're in the driver's seat. Get there before the thrill is gone. Toyotathon 01 is January 2nd at your Toyota dealer.
Name some things you can't control that you wish you could.
Definitely my paycheck.
My hair. I know exactly what you mean.
The weather. My craving for chocolate cake.
You know I was going to say that myself. My taxes.
Whether it's a boy or a girl.
Here's something you can definitely control.
You can choose the starters in the 2001 NBA All-Star Game on February 11th. Get an official Sprite NBA All-Star ballot at participating movie theaters or vote online at NBA.com and see your top picks at NBA All-Star 2001.
It's all about control.
NBC Mondays.
You investigate, what did you call it? Miraculous phenomena.
Discover the difference between a mystery and a miracle.
This cloth is healing people.
Mysterious Ways returns to Mondays with all new episodes.
We've stumbled across something that's going to save millions of lives.
All new Mysterious Ways next Monday at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
The Indiana Pacers with a 14-point advantage, and a lot of it has come on the efforts of young Jonathan Bender here in the 3rd quarter of play. A year ago, Bender came directly from high school to the pros, and in every practice they said this guy can shoot the basketball, and he has got the ability to take it to the rim. And this afternoon, we're seeing all those skills on display, and this may be the day that he gets to stay in the starting lineup. So, Bill,
a myriad display of skills here, and with the rebounding, the high-flying shot blocking capabilities. Here's a guy, Jonathan Bender, who's got 6 DNPs on the season. It's just mind-boggling that this guy has not gotten more time, because you're never going to develop, as we see with Jermaine O'Neal, by sitting on the bench and watching.
Tom, that sounds an awful lot like he's questioning the coach.
O'Neal on the bench and Bender over there now as well. Bender has 10 in the quarter. Indiana has hit 11 of 18 shots in the quarter, 61%. Bender and Rose have scored the last 12 Pacer points. And Orlando, meanwhile, only 5 of 16 in the quarter, 31% shooting.
Well, you know, so much is made of teams defensively, but when they're not making shots offensively, defensively they flatten out. They don't react as quickly, and let's see if they can start picking up their reaction, covering some of these open players Indiana has out on the floor.
Tough shot by Austin Crozier.
Right in the face of one of the league's premier defensive players, Bo Outlaw. Reggie Miller showing what kind of defensive capabilities he has as he is now matched up with Tracy McGrady. Crozier across the middle. Whenever he lowers that shoulder, the shot is going up. No question that he's going to jack it up as opposed to try to find someone spotting up.
McGrady attacking Reggie Miller, and Reggie picks up the foul, his first.
I like that. The big spleep has come alive, and he's putting some heat on Miller, and whoever faces him, he'll go to the free throw line. But McGrady is the only guy that's having an impact in the scoring column here in the quarter. 8, a chance to get to 10, and you know, you look at the final 2:13. He's got to say, I got to have the ball in my hands the rest of the 3rd quarter.
A rare miss at the free throw line. He's been hitting his free throws 74% on the season. You see how his numbers have gradually increased with playing time in his 4th season and signing the big contract to go to Orlando, leaving the Raptors and his cousin Vince Carter.
Well, Isaiah Thomas was the guy that picked Tracy McGrady early on. And, but Isaiah, they could not get things going to get Tracy into the lineup in the very beginning. Turnover, Jean Tabak.
But then Best takes it back as Armstrong couldn't quite handle it. Here goes Crozier again, lowering the shoulder. This time it'll cost him a foul. That's the other thing that happens when he lowers that shoulder.
Isaiah Thomas pointing the other way, saying, what about what that other official was going to say? He gets waved off the call. Good deke by Don Reed.
That's a fabulous call.
Back to McGrady. Should be trying to drive this ball. They're leaving the whole side and baseline open.
Oh, it almost rolled in. He got it back. McGrady blocked, but a foul. McGrady staying after it.
A full 6'9", Tracy McGrady. The ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter makes the defenders come up on him. Then he can get to the hoop and display the phenomenal athleticism, the hanging in the air, the creativity, the imagination.
Tabak committing the foul, and I thought it was unusual that Bender stayed in the game a moment ago. They corrected the foul. They did not give Bender his 4th. He still has 3. O'Neal now with 4.
Well, the top number in the NBA for an individual game is 51. Jameson and Kobe Bryant both had it on the same night, and as we advance to the 4th quarter, we could see a 50-point game from McGrady.
McGrady with 34. His career high is 40 earlier this season.
In the old days with those fouls, if a guy was having a really good game, they would just give the foul to a guy who was sitting on the bench.
Backcourt pressure. Tabak makes the catch and pitches it to Rose out of trouble.
Orlando trying to get back into it with some scrambling, trapping defense.
Yeah, but the wrong people have the ball. So if you let Jalen Rose create or do something individually, that's what happens. He rings the bell.
As soon as Jean Tabak had it, they should have just backed off of him and let him be the creator.
11 in the quarter for
Jalen Rose has 27, and here's Mike Miller. He can shoot. The rookie from the Florida Gators who went to the NCAA championship game and a loss against Michigan State last season. He's hit both his 3-point attempts, and Miller has 8.
Chosen 5th overall in the draft. Remarkable display of confidence by John Gabriel in this fine young talent.
45 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Long rebound to Miller, who gives it up to McGrady. Against Jalen Rose now. Shoots over him. Good. He's got it going today. Tracy McGrady with 36 points.
What cannot this man do?
He's hit 12 of his 22 shots.
13 in the quarter for him, and they'll get one more crack at it as they try to, again, full court pressure. Armstrong had a steal. Thought he got raked off the ball by Jean Tabak.
Tracy McGrady, who has shown an incredible ability to go to his left. All set up by the fact
or right,
or
straight up,
or dunk, or shoot free throws, or rebound, or block.
About a 10-second differential between shot and game clock as they work back to Jalen Rose.
Travis Best.
The runners in the lane for Indiana have been marvelous all afternoon.
That's the first 2 points of the ball game for Best, who's had really some terrific scoring games this season. McGrady with 5 on the clock.
Double teams. Skip pass to Miller for 3. At the buzzer, no good. McGrady did the right thing, though. Skip pass to find the open man. Miller's first miss from 3-point range after hitting his first 2. So behind Jalen Rose, Jonathan Bender, and Reggie Miller, the Pacers take command in the 3rd quarter. After 3, it's Indiana 87, Orlando 76. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
It is a thrill of minutes. But time is almost up on Toyotathon 01. Hurry to Toyota's blockbuster sales event of the year for great values on our best. Like the legendary and reliable Camry. Just one ride, and you'll know why. It's been the #1 selling car in America for 3 years in a row. Toyotathon 01. Get there before the thrill is gone. Hurry, ends January 2nd.
Imagine this map is the internet, and all these streets intersect to form an information superhighway. But not everyone has access to an on-ramp.
Everybody ready?
Yeah. Tim Duncan and the Spurs know that technology is the fast lane to the future.
Let's get online.
So they've donated computers to schools in their communities that connect students to a whole new world.
Oh, what happened?
And this will help them to cross the bridge right over the digital divide. Team up to improve your community.
Catch Kay with comedy megastar Robin Williams, NBC tonight.
Over the past 65 years, Chevy Suburban has come a very long way. Introducing the best Suburban yet. The all-new Chevy Suburban. Like a rock.
I used to believe in cellular, too. All the stuff about free long distance, it was mostly make-believe. But it's okay. Turns out real nationwide long distance does exist. We can call from anywhere to anywhere in the country, and there are no extra charges. And it's all digital, so it's clear.
Does Mom know?
Yeah, she knows.
Sprint PCS, 1,500 minutes with nationwide long distance for just $34.99.
Happy holidays from all of us at NBC 41 News.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other dissemination or use of this telecast, or of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Start the fourth quarter with Indiana leading 87-76 behind 51% shooting for the game. Tom Hammond, Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Lewis Johnson with John McGinnis, our producer, and Jeff Simon, our director, all wishing you happy holidays from Seco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis.
Indiana's on a terrific offensive roll right now. They've got a great contribution from Jonathan Bender. Now Orlando has to find somebody else besides Tracy McGrady, who's got 36 already and is pressing the season best 51 for the NBA.
Nice crossover by Best, back to Crozier. And Armstrong called for the blocking foul. Derek McKee, the veteran, in the Indiana lineup for the first time today.
We have Bender, O'Neal, Crozier, McKee, Travis Best. Big team and one guard to make plays for everybody else. And let's see how the defense of the Orlando Magic adjusts to the size. Bender against Miller.
Backing him down through the double team. And a steal by Reed.
Signs of promise, though, the passing abilities of Jermaine O'Neal and Jonathan Bender.
McGrady attacking McKee. Steps back and scores, and McKee got a little age on him, but he is an outstanding defensive player, too.
Derek McKee has established himself as one of the premier defenders in the last 15 years in the NBA. And you go right at him. I don't care if you're hot. You've got to be very, very good, which obviously McGrady has established today.
O'Neal doubled as he took up his dribble. 5 to shoot.
Now, the Magic shouldn't gamble. They got to make a tough shot come up.
Austin Crozier, no, came out.
Well, the shooting percentage has just not been there for Austin Crozier this year, who was fabulous during last year's NBA Finals, but has not been able to produce at a similar pace this season.
Look at how low he gets. He almost got through, got it back, missed it. Tracy McGrady and Outlaw keep it alive.
Armstrong for 3. O'Neal chases it down.
If you were to talk about what the difference in the ball game, it's the starting lineup of Indiana that has scored better than the starting lineup of the Orlando Magic. Bender has almost outscored the rest of the Orlando Magic starters, 19 to 20.
Reggie and Jalen have 44 points between them.
out-of-control play by Mike Miller and Travis Best off to the races.
He missed it. Bodies everywhere. Best gets it back. Bender hammered. Yes, they'll call that one. Looking like 10 pins the way they were flying.
Mike Miller down the lane, slashing, bodies flying everywhere. Travis Best drives it out of the backcourt. Orlando says, well, if that wasn't a foul, how can this be a foul?
Jonathan Bender with 2 shots for your Pacers.
The young Jonathan Bender back to the free throw line. He had signed, there's Bob Delaney discussing it with Bo Outlaw.
One of the great diplomats in the game, Bo Outlaw.
Bender had actually signed to go to college at Mississippi State, and the prep All-American finally deciding to pass it up as a high school senior in Picayune, Mississippi, averaging 23 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks a game.
Steve, you talked about the balanced scoring here. Jalen and Reggie have 44 points between them. McGrady and Armstrong have 42 between them.
But Miller's open for 3. He was able to sneak by Bender that time and was spotted up at the three-point line for a couple seconds before they caught him there.
Well, we're entering a danger zone for the Pacers. It's now a 7-point ball game, and this lineup right here is the one that may give Orlando a chance to get back in it. Harassing defense by Outlaw.
Isaiah's trying to give some time to these young players to develop and grow, but how long can he go without Reggie and Jalen in the game?
Turnover. Best has his shot blocked. And then they're bailed out by a foul on Armstrong as the shot clock buzzer goes off. That was a turnover by Indiana. And then at the last millisecond, Armstrong commits his 4th foul.
Doc Rivers cannot believe it. The son of a former policeman in Chicago, Illinois, who knows all about truth and justice, cannot believe
it was a foul. But
where is the outrage in the face of injustice?
Now the Pacers, they got a break, and now they get a whistle going against them. Jonathan Bender on the hook.
Bender hooking Miller, called for the offensive foul. That's his 4th.
So many of the young players who are dominating the NBA these days, they love to reach back and try to grab the guy who's guarding them, or who they're guarding, or who is guarding them, and it's just foolish.
Well, Bender out of the ball game. Jalen Rose back in the game. So there's a little pressure valve of relief for Isaiah Thomas in a 7-point ball game with 9 minutes to play.
Armstrong nowhere to go after he left his feet, able to get rid of it. And now a 3 by Darrell Armstrong. Tough shot. Armstrong with 9 points. And the Magic have pulled within 4.
He must have heard Bill talking about that lack of balance in the backcourt.
McGrady called for the foul. Thought he had tied McKee up. Called for the reach-in. And Reggie Miller is set to return to the game when we come back to Indianapolis. 4-point Indiana lead.
The Blazers, the Lakers, next on NBC.
They say good things come to those who wait. As long as they don't wait too long. From now until January 2nd, get a $500 holiday bonus for $1,250 total cash back on any 2001 Grand Prix. So stop by your Pontiac dealer now and light up the season. This holiday bonus ends January 2nd.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Got it, man. So what do you want to talk about?
Cindy. We broke up. But she was perfect for me.
Oh, what a catch.
Oh, she sure was. She just tore out my heart and stomped on it.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, you guys are great.
Being there for a friend? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
They brought him to Washington to win a war.
None of my friends can believe my dad's the drug czar.
They arrested her husband to send a message.
We need to take down one of these cartels.
And they paid an informant to get the truth.
It's all about the money.
But the war they thought they had won is just beginning.
The doll is odorless, undetectable by the dogs, undetectable by anyone.
From the director of Aaron Brockovich and Out of Sight.
Just shoot him in the head.
Traffic, rated R. Starts Wednesday in LA and New York. January 5th everywhere.
fulfilling their prophecy. They became champions. Now, with the bullseye squarely on their back, the Lakers must fight off all who aim to dethrone them. And with the perfect balance of power and grace, will defend their title and inch closer to their goal, a new Laker dynasty. To be continued next on NBC.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By McDonald's. We love to see you smile. And by Net Zero. Not just free internet access, the best internet access. Call 1-800-DEFENDER.
Holiday time always means community involvement around the NBA, and that's the case here in Indianapolis. For more, let's go to Lewis Johnson.
It sure is the case. You know, the Pacers really have the Christmas spirit, the organization does, and the evidence of that is behind me here in Section 111, where the organization has invited over 150 kids from local homes and boys and girls clubs to come and enjoy the game. The office staff paid for the tickets. The players helped Santa Claus secure the gifts, and after the game, there will be a party in the Pacers practice room to make sure that they get to enjoy another Christmas this afternoon. All the Pacer players are coming, Tom.
All right, Lewis. And I'm looking forward to my gift from you, Bill, at the end of the telecast today.
Oh, absolutely.
Jalen Rose tapped in by Crozier.
You missed it. He bought breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, but he waited until he saw what I ordered, and I'll take that.
Orlando's playing a lineup right now that doesn't have a lot of defensive rebounding capability.
The last time he opened his wallet, snapper, a moth came out.
That's what I'm saying. This was a terrific positioning play and effort by Crozier to put the cap on it, and it's a 6-point game, so they got to feel better about their chances of closing opponents out when they can make those kind of plays.
But Doc Rivers has got John Amici, Pat Garrity, and Mike Doliak sitting on the bench over there when he needs defensive rebounding.
Armstrong rimmed out to Jalen Rose. 7 rebounds now for Rose. That putback by Crozier, or that tap-in by Crozier, was Indiana's first field goal of the quarter.
Okay, it's a 3-point quarter for them so far, and this is what's happened through the early part of this season for them. They have this fourth quarter flame out in close games. O'Neal, tough shot.
Kept alive by Crozier, though, but they don't beat the shot clock. Shot clock violation, Orlando ball.
Well, everybody was stunned that the ball didn't hit the rim. Reggie thought there was going to be a total reset there, and
wasn't even close.
Block.
Yeah. So Orlando again a chance to cut into that 6-point deficit. 7.5 minutes remaining.
Well, the guys that have proven that they're making shots right now, McGrady and Miller in the quarter, they put the ball back in McGrady's hands.
Mapped out by Outlaw and chased down by McGrady.
Well, they're all saying over and back, but the ball hit the rim.
Yeah. McGrady takes it in again and misses again. O'Neal clears. He has 7 boards.
Derek McKee really doing a fine job defensively on McGrady.
I agree. He's made a difference, hasn't he? Reggie Miller waits for the traffic to clear and then pops in a 3. 20 for Reggie.
And Doc Rivers wants to talk about it, and he'll take a timeout.
Timeout Orlando. They made a run, but now Indiana, with its big guns blazing, kicks the lead out again. Magic were within 4, but Indiana has scored 5 in a row, including that 3 by Reggie.
That's some grill.
Oh, yeah. Ladies love the toys. Check it out. Tofu burgers.
Ah, blackened.
And for the final touch...
Some beers are for show.
Imported beer.
Whatever. Some beers are for real. Cool and refreshing as a mountain stream.
Got another one of those, Mountain Man?
Head to the mountains of Bush.
Who's thirsty?
Is your internet slowing you down? Get Velocity, high-velocity internet, and push the play button on life.
You ain't seen nothing yet. It's something that you're never gonna forget.
This is Velocity, high-velocity DSL internet service. Experience the net like never before.
Baby, you just
Sign up now and get $50 to spend at Amazon.com. Call 1-800-Velocity.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Our day will come, and we'll have everything.
The fastest way to save toward the new GM car or truck of your dreams is to earn 5% on every credit card purchase. The new GM card. What are you charging toward?
So has he kissed you yet?
No, he's really shy. That's so cute.
I think tonight's the night, though.
Good luck.
You hungry?
Yeah.
2 quarter pounders with cheese?
No onions.
No onions? No onions.
We make it hot, fresh, right to order. Whatever you want on it,
Nothing you don't.
We love to see you smile.
Here in Los Angeles, the Lakers and Blazers getting ready. Steve Smith of Portland playing with his recently opened Christmas present. Shaq is in the building, as is Kobe. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, and Jim Gray will have it all for you following Orlando and Indiana. Now let's get back to Tom, Bill, and Steve.
All right, Marv, looking forward to that rematch of the Western Finals. The Lakers and the Blazers. Wonder if they had the box lunch.
Orlando Magic blowing some golden opportunities here. They're staying with the same small lineup, trying to find an offensive spark other than Tracy McGrady.
They have enough time, and if they don't panic, they can work their way back into the ball game. They're trying to get McGrady the ball down on the clock so he doesn't have to work on his own, but they weren't able to do it. 6 on the clock for McGrady.
McKee with a hand check foul on McGrady.
But in Derek McKee's defense, he did play in an era when the hand check was legal.
Well, he's done a good job on McGrady. He's been the only man today that's come close to stopping him.
He's got size. He's got strength. A former University of Alabama star. So many fine years with the Seattle Sonics before coming over here in the big trade for Detlef Schrempf.
Armstrong left alone at the three-point line. No good. And O'Neal skies for the carom. He has 8 boards.
Did McKee play last year when we changed the rule?
Absolutely.
Here's his shot.
Establishing himself as the star of the game here, or at least at the fourth quarter, Derek McKee.
11-point game, and now the pressure is on the Magic to find a way to score the ball. They've got to get the ball back in the hands of McGrady, and they have to have more movement. They're taking too much time to get the shot. Good drive.
McKee fouls McGrady. Tracy had missed his last 3 shots with the D from Derek. Pat Garrity into the Orlando lineup, replacing Don Reed.
When you look at the new stars that are dominating the NBA, like Tracy McGrady, Kevin Garnett, Lamar Odom, all these players with incredible physical capabilities, the size that they package their skills with, we are just going to see an endless display of new highlight films for years to come.
There are the numbers on McGrady.
You know, it's that starting unit that doesn't have enough balance in it. Miller's come off the bench, giving them 11 points. McGrady with 2 more.
But not a single player on the Magic other than McGrady who's taken at least double-figure shot attempts.
McGrady has equaled his career high with 40. Not attempts, but points. Bad attempted lob by Rose. McGarrett has it. Garrity has it. And is able to get it inbounds, and an Indiana foul.
Jermaine O'Neal is rubbing his eyes, like trying to figure out how to get his hands on the same page. Jalen Rose has got to walk up to Jermaine O'Neal here and say, now, where would you like me to put it next time? It looked to me like a pretty good pass there.
Wouldn't you rub your eyes if you missed something like that? Come up with some reason for not being able to have that snatch and throw down. Trying to come back to McGrady. Troy Hudson in the game, replacing Armstrong. 11 on the clock, and McKee is playing him glove tight.
That's terrific defense.
McGrady now has missed 4 in a row.
Gave him 4 or 5 different looks on that single defensive possession there for Derek McKee.
And then he contested the shot.
McGrady can't give up on it, though. They still have plenty of time to get back in it. Crozier wide open.
Had a foot on the line, but missed anyway. O'Neal kept it alive momentarily. Then McGrady cradles it.
Oh, Tracy McGrady does a heck with you guys who can't get a defensive rebound. All have to come back and do that as well.
He has 7. Against McKee.
This is 1-on-5. He tried to slip a pass inside.
Garrity for 3. He missed it badly. McKee rebounds. Miller on the break. Goaltending on Outlaw. Credit the basket for Reggie Miller. A rare fast break for the Pacers. And 22 for Reggie.
Now think about it. The Indiana Pacers know there's only one offensive threat out there, and they are just jamming everything that McGrady is trying to do. These other guys are going to have to step up and step inside that line and make some shots.
Are the Orlando Magic playing without Grant Hill? Are they running the risk of playing and overusing Tracy McGrady, who's only 21 years old?
Not going to be overused at 21.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking you.
Well, I'm telling you, when you're 21, you can play forever.
He's leading the league in minutes. The cornerstone of the franchise for the future.
He's not tired. He's not injured, so he should be out there. Offensive foul. Jalen Rose as Troy Hudson draws a foul. Armstrong going to come back in the game, so he's gotten a breather and some instructions as they'll try to creep up here in the last 4, 26 down 11.
Might want to spot Miller at the three-point line. He's hit 3 of 4 as they continue to pay so much attention to McGrady.
You know, Garrity does not have his stroke going today, and when he's off, then he struggles to help you in other areas, and he primarily is a shooter.
Now Reggie Miller's got Tracy McGrady.
Well, I don't think Reggie liked that call. Number 3 on Reggie.
The beautiful execution of the spin move. Reggie Miller caught there and certainly displayed with a verbal outburst that we'll have Steve Jones describe.
Well, that's been the reaction of most players from UCLA.
Ouch! Oh! Ow! Look, you can say anything you want about me.
We have most of the time.
But do not disparage UCLA, please.
Well, McGrady with a new season-high 41 flashes on the scoreboard and a chance to make it a little bit better, but he missed.
Career high, too, I think, 41. And for Orlando, their next highest score is Mike Miller with 11.
Orlando has not been able to capitalize by using their press, something they're normally very good at.
That was too easy.
It's a bad matchup for Armstrong. You get him down on the low post with the guy and the ability of Jalen Rose, you're going to pay for it every time.
And that's one of the reasons Isaiah Thomas really wants to go with the big backcourt. Blocked shot by a group of Pacers.
Grady might be just a little bit tired right now, and that's the reason that jump shot isn't going in.
You just said he's 21 years old, is not going to get.
Well, no, that means you have to find another way to score. Your jump shot is a little flat now. Get in a little bit closer to the hoop. They're not going to take him out of the game.
But that last possession is a classic example of Doc Rivers' explanation of what the team really needs down the line is a big defensive, intimidating presence inside.
McGrady in this fourth quarter hit his first shot and then has missed 5 in a row. Armstrong goaltending, allow the basket to Darrell Armstrong. O'Neal swatted it on the way down.
O'Neal, who's had a terrific defensive game this afternoon, will learn over time. He's just getting started, even though it's his 4th year. You have to jump out to get the ball just out of the shooter's hand as opposed to getting it above the rim.
Indiana by 10.
The Magic defense is scrambling. They don't know where to put pressure, and so they're just chasing people. They get a fortunate turnover there from Miller.
Miller arguing that the Magic player had touched it, but not so.
Indiana Pacers covering up a lot of the flaws that have caused them to come out with a 12-16 record earlier this year. Traveling violation on John Amici.
Amici challenging Reed and travels, or challenging O'Neal and travels. 2:55 left in this Christmas Day matchup. Pacers by 10.
Did you ever see that movie, You've Got Mail? Where this guy and girl fall in love emailing each other a bunch of times? Anyway, they finally meet face to face, and there's this big romantic kiss. Do you know the movie I'm talking about? Did you ever see that one? Well, this guy didn't. Ford F-Series Super Duty. Built Ford tough.
Ever found yourself here? Waiting for the privilege of paying just to get in? That's how people feel when they realize how much they've been paying for internet access. You, on the other hand, are no fool. You log on to the internet using Net Zero. It's fast, reliable, and it's totally free. You never pay a monthly fee. Ever, ever, ever. Net Zero. Not just free internet access. The best internet access.
Your buddy has had a bit too much to drink. Everyone at the party is looking away, but not you. You get involved. You take away his car keys, and you get him home, safely. So you miss a party. It sure beats missing a friend.
I think your creativity comes from within. I think everybody is born with creativity, but I believe it's the trust in yourself and the trust in your emotions to talk to yourself, so to speak, to become your own psychologist, to let your emotions out on a piece of paper. To not be afraid of anything. Not be afraid of what people think. Not be afraid of what people may say. To just be yourself, and I think that's something that's rare nowadays.
Vince Lombardi once said, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. What happened to that? I'm tired of multi-million-dollar athletes complaining about room service. XFL players will get paid to play, but they'll get paid more to win. I think Coach Lombardi would like that.
The XFL, NBC February.
It's real football.
It is a 10-point advantage for the Indiana Pacers, and Doc Rivers was hoping that Bob Delaney or one of the other officials would give him a Christmas present and give him a little momentum to get back in this ball game. On the play just before the timeout, Amici driving the baseline. He traveled before the foul and Doc Rivers wanted that foul. He wanted that call, and this is how the officials explained it.
See, there's the one that can't come with it. It's not simultaneous. I have a foul, but it's not simultaneous because he travels to get across the lane, and that's when I got the foul. Well, you got the first call. It's not simultaneous. I think we're supposed to get together now.
Always nice to see the referees on the same page. Bob Delaney, one of the league's finest referees, and George Tolliver, the other one who made the correct traveling violation of Amici along the baseline.
All right, Tom, I think that's the response Bill and I have. I think we're supposed to get together now.
Yes, I wish.
McGrady, rebound.
Is there anything that Tracy McGrady hasn't done today?
But he better keep doing it for three.
Pulls up for the three, way off the mark, an air ball. And it might be that fatigue you guys have been discussing.
Well, you know, and at this point, okay, you know you have to stay out on the floor, try to get closer to the rim, try to draw some fouls, stop the clock, but find a way to work your way back into it because he is the entire offensive story for them.
He's missed his last 6 shots, has McGrady. 6 in a row have been off the mark.
But McGrady will eventually learn. Remember, he's just getting started at 21 years of age and didn't play much his first couple years. You got to make the other team guys play their game. He's got a good shooter in Mike Miller out there. How about a penetration and a dish? John Amici can stroke a jumper. Pat Garrity can do the same. Draw the defense and kick it out.
Slapped away by McKee. They're going to say he got him on the arm.
Anytime you come across the body and from that angle, the call is going to go against you, even if you do get the ball. McKee smiling, but not happy with the call. You'll see he's going to come across the body and make the play, and he gets a piece of the arm as well, so McGrady back at the line. But The Pacers are averaging 93 points a game.
And don't forget, coming up next, the second half of our Christmas Day NBA doubleheader, as Shaq and the Lakers take on Scotty and the Blazers. That's coming up next here on NBC.
Both teams with significant changes. Horace Grant coming back to rejoin Phil Jackson. The Blazers coming in with Dale Davis and Sean Kemp. A couple of guys who they hope can have some sort of impact on slowing down Shaq.
Inside the final 2 minutes, and Indiana leading 99-91.
Nice ball movement quickly.
Crozier. Garrity might have gotten a piece of it. Here's McGrady.
How many rebounds now for McGrady?
8.
Now, Garrity had a better shot that he passed up, and now they're going to have to work against the set defense. McGrady, tough shot.
But see, nobody's creating for Orlando. Darrell Armstrong is not getting down inside the lane. Bo Outlaw is not creating from his high post position. He's playing.
And
Tracy
Grant Hill
McGrady.
is home.
Tracy McGrady is playing 1-on-5.
They're in a scramble position at this state, and they're just hoping the Pacers will let them back in. Missed by Miller.
Armstrong pushing right by Rose, and then I thought he just fell down, but a foul is called. Derek McKee called for the foul.
Well, we'll see him cross over.
No, he just fell down.
Ran up his back.
So Armstrong to the free throw line. One thing that Indiana has done in the second half is eliminate the Orlando fast break. They had 15 fast break points first half, only 2 here in the second.
And they've come up with enough offense. You know, you score 100 points today, you're pretty much assured of victories.
And Indiana is on 99 with 1:06 remaining.
And their problem has been they've been averaging 93. So they're in pretty good shape. All they got to do is just move the ball, move themselves. It's up to Orlando to make them make a mistake.
Final minute.
I've been impressed today with Bender and Jermaine O'Neal, the two promising stars of the future, the front court for Isaiah Thomas.
6 on the clock for Rose.
Had to force it up. And a shot clock violation, didn't hit the rim. Orlando gets it back, trailing by 6.
Yeah, a quick score and a stop of the clock will help the Orlando Magic, and there's a timeout. We'll find out what they try to put on the drawing board when we come back.
Holiday gift should be nothing less than timeless. From the world of Ralph Lauren, you're just a click away. Introducing Polo.com.
Bad cheetah. See? That's why I'm not a cat person.
Remember the A-Team? Now there was an odd bunch of individuals. They always had some cockamamie scheme to get out of a jam. It never sounded like it would work, but of course it always did. Week after week, same time, same channel. Those were my boys. The Ford F-150 Super Cruise. Built Ford top.
And now a sneak peek at the new comedy, Three Sisters.
I'm waiting for a smile from the woman halter tops were made for.
Can a person sit on a couch without being hit on?
Apparently you can.
Nora, I'm a big girl. I can handle Jake. Thank you.
Three Sisters, coming to NBC Tuesdays after Frasier in 2 weeks.
Jermaine O'Neal and the Indiana Pacers leading the Orlando Magic by 6 with 42 seconds remaining.
Well, Orlando, they had to come with the quick two here. It's far too early to go for the three. The problem is they haven't been getting anything to go down because every time Tracy McGrady's been trying to do it by himself, he's going in there 1 against 3, and they're knocking the ball away every time.
You know, what they want to do is try to get something going to the hoop and get a stop of the clock and possibly a traditional three-point play.
Bo Outlaw to toss it in to Garrity.
Nice screen by Bo Outlaw.
McGrady takes it right to the rim and misses. Jalen Rose the other way.
You got a foul here.
They did everything right except finish the play. They surprised Indiana, and McGrady misses.
Well, the ball was in McGrady's hands, but it was a beautiful designation of how to get it to him. Nice screen by Bo Outlaw initially, then he ran a little curl and came right down the lane. A good look at it, but the shots have not fallen in the fourth quarter for Tracy McGrady.
31.5 seconds left as Jalen Rose hits the century mark for the Pacers and increases the lead to 7. 30 points for Jalen Rose today with 8 rebounds and 5 assists.
So they take Bo Outlaw in, try to bring Monty Williams in for some more offense. But now, who's going to get a defensive rebound?
At this stage, Bill. At this stage. I don't think that that's a concern. I think they need to.
You've got to get the ball.
They got to score. They got to score 9 points to win the game.
31 now for Jalen Rose.
Nice strip away. Derek McKee, who's been a fabulous defensive force throughout this fourth quarter. Once again.
McKee came in to take up the defense on Tracy McGrady in the fourth quarter and has shut him down effectively.
Well, this is a big win for the Indiana Pacers. It stops some of the bleeding. They had been struggling. It'll give them some new life, a big win at home. What do you want to say? You picked the winner?
No. They needed this win because their next game at Miami on Wednesday. Then they come home next Saturday, host San Antonio, and then they go on the road for a 6-game in 9-day trip. So that's a big victory here today for Isaiah Thomas and the Pacers.
Outlaw is back, and Tracy McGrady will go to the bench, having scored a career-high 43, but missing his last 7 shots from the floor.
As the fans leave, Doc Rivers realizes that the game is over, and he takes his star out, Beth with 2.
45 minutes for Tracy McGrady, again leading the NBA in minutes per game. Magic having trouble getting the ball inbound.
And for the Pacers, good balanced scoring. Rose with 31, Miller with 22, and Bender with 20.
Have you noticed a correlation between the balanced team game versus the individual performance and winning over the years?
Miller just lost it to Reggie Miller. And that'll do it. As the final seconds will tick away, and the Indiana Pacers have snapped a 3-game losing streak, a 3-game home losing streak, and have come from behind to defeat the Orlando Magic. Final score, the Indiana Pacers 103 and the Orlando Magic 93. Coming up next, a rematch of the 2000 Western Conference Finals. The Trailblazers take on the Lakers. For Bill Walton, Steve Jones, and Lewis Johnson, Tom Hammond saying so long. Now we send you to Ahmad Rashad in the New York studio.
All right, thanks, Tom. Back in New York with Kevin, PJ, and Peter. We'll send you out to Los Angeles for the Lakers-Blazers game in just a moment. But before that, let's talk about the first game. Kevin?
I'll tell you what, Isaiah got his development players to play well today. Bender played well.
Real smooth line.